One night, David sat alone in complete darkness. No music, no phone, no distractions, just silence. And for the first time in years, he admitted the truth to himself. His life was falling apart, not because of money, not because of other people, but because his mind had become negative. Every morning he woke up tired. Every problem felt bigger than it really was. Fear controlled his decisions. Anxiety controlled his thoughts. And secretly, he hated the person he was becoming. You see, the mind is powerful. Whatever controls your thoughts eventually controls your life. If fear controls the mind, fear controls actions. If negativity controls the mind, negativity controls the future. And slowly, David realized something dangerous. He had allowed darkness to live inside his thinking. Every day he repeated, "I'm not good enough. My life will never change. Nothing ever works for me." And after repeating those thoughts for years, his brain started believing them as truth. That is how psychology works. The mind believes what it hears repeatedly. But that night, something happened. David opened an old Bible sitting beside his bed. Dust covered the corners. He hadn't touched it in years. Randomly, his eyes landed on one verse. "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." He froze. Renewing of your mind. Suddenly he understood something powerful. God changes lives by changing minds first. Before your future changes, your thinking must change, because people do not rise higher than their mindset. And maybe that is why some people stay trapped for years, not because opportunity never came, but because fear convinced them they were powerless. David closed his eyes quietly. Then, for the first time in a long time, he prayed honestly. "God, change my mind." Not, "Give me money." Not, "Make life easy." Just, "Change my mind." Because a changed mind can change everything. The next morning, nothing magical happened externally. Bills still existed, problems still existed, but internally, something felt different. David started protecting his mind carefully. Less negativity, less comparison, less toxic content, more prayer, more silence, more discipline, more learning. Slowly, his mindset became stronger. And when the mindset changes, behavior changes. When behavior changes, habits change. And when habits change, life changes. That is why spiritual growth is powerful psychologically. Prayer calms the nervous system. Gratitude changes emotional focus. Faith reduces fear. Discipline strengthens identity. God was not only healing David spiritually, he was rebuilding him mentally. Months later, people started noticing changes. David became calmer, more focused, more confident, more peaceful. Not because life became perfect, but because his mind became stronger. Listen carefully. The greatest battle many people face is not external, it is internal. A war between fear and faith, between negativity and hope, between comfort and growth. That battle decides futures, because the person who controls the mind controls the direction of their life. That is why the Bible repeatedly speaks about thoughts, because thoughts become actions, actions become habits, habits become identity, and identity shapes destiny. Some people spend years praying for their situation to change, while refusing to change their mindset. But God cannot elevate a mind trapped in fear forever. Growth requires transformation. Maybe that's why difficult seasons exist. Pain forces reflection. Silence reveals truth. Struggles expose weak thinking. And sometimes, God allows isolation because distraction was destroying your focus. Think about this carefully. Every day you feed your mind something, fear or faith, anger or peace, discipline or excuses, darkness or growth. Whatever you feed consistently becomes stronger. That is psychology, and that is spiritual truth. David finally understood this. He stopped speaking negatively about himself, stopped replaying failure constantly, stopped believing every fearful thought. Instead, he trained his mind daily. Prayer, reading, gratitude, discipline, silence. Slowly, his entire reality changed. And maybe tonight, this message is reaching you for a reason. Maybe God is not trying to destroy you. Maybe He is trying to transform the way you think. Because once the mind changes, everything begins changing. Your energy changes, your habits change, your confidence changes, your future changes. So before asking God for a better life, ask Him for a stronger mind, a peaceful heart, a disciplined spirit, because those things create lasting transformation. And remember this, God can change your life in one moment, but many times. He starts by changing your mind first. Moral of the story: a negative mind can turn blessings into suffering, but a renewed mind can turn struggle into strength. Protect your thoughts, protect your spirit, and never underestimate what God can do through a transformed mind.